1811 4000। यही कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन।
जागो ग्राहक जागो।
Well, that is the big focus tonight on no smoking. But really, this ban that is going to be put in place from the 2nd of October is not an unprecedented one. Most big cities across the world have a ban on smoking in place. What's more, studies show that less exposure to second-hand smoke, the number of people getting afflicted with tobacco-related health problems have reduced manifestly.
This is the Ramadan effect. Come Thursday, 2nd October, and smoking in public places will be a thing of the past. The law's a breath of fresh air for people like 30-year-old Rajneesh Malhotra, who has been inhaling other people's cigarette smoke for over 15 years now.
The ban is good actually when we stand in front of somebody who's smoking right now, and whenever he smokes out, so that smoke comes to us and we inhale that smoke, which is very bad to our health.
Regular exposure to second-hand smoke increases the risk of heart disease and lung cancer by 30%. An estimated 1,000 die every year globally as a result of passive smoking. Globally, a ban is in effect in countries like Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy and Australia. And they have shown results. In Chicago, number of heart attack victims dropped by 60% after a ban came into place. In Ireland, there was a 79% reduction in exhaled breath carbon monoxide. Colorado saw a 27% drop in hospital admissions for heart attacks after a ban was put in place. And Scotland showed a 86% reduction in second-hand smoke. Doctors in India are hopeful of similar results.
Quality of life as well as the longevity of life will improve for people who are passive smokers at the moment. Right now, passive smokers are being affected by cigarette smoke despite their intention not to be exposed to it.
From tomorrow, the road becomes the new smoking den. The law might deter those trying to quit smoking by making lighting all the more inconvenient. Whatever the case may be, surely smokers will not thank the minister anytime soon. In New Delhi, Satyarth Naik.
Well, the road's the new smoking den. Here's how it's going to really play out on the ground. With the Supreme Court refusing to overturn the notification to impose that ban on smoking in public places, if you are caught lighting up, you will be asked to cough up. No pun intended here, 200 rupees each time. Here's Devika Malik with a practical demonstration of how difficult the road to that puff is going to be.
जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ा
Come Thursday, and this is pretty much all you'll be able to do with your cigarettes publicly. Buy them. Because according to a Supreme Court order, marketplaces like these are off limits for smokers. So what's a safe place to go smoke these babies? Let's find out.
Sorry, the Supreme Court's nod to the ban on smoking in public places has left smokers with very few options. Hotels, restaurants, pubs, bars, discos are now strictly no smoking zones. So where else?
Smoking at the metro station, that's definitely going to land me in the police station. Not the bus, not even the bus stop. Let's try an auto.
The notification also bans smoking anywhere in office buildings, stadiums, auditoriums, etc., forcing smokers to flock to greener pastures. Literally.
Well, thankfully for me, neither the Health Ministry nor the Supreme Court believe that an open park is a public place where passive smokers are at risk. A blessing in disguise, really. So the next time you have the urge to light up, you might as well take a walk in the park as well. Or even an open street for that matter. And you can even smoke inside your own car, provided you're not the one behind the wheel.
So who all can haul you up if you're caught taking a drag? Anyone from traffic cops and beat constables to government officers, teachers, principals to the HR managers in your own office. So if you're trying to kick the habit, maybe tomorrow is when you start. In New Delhi, Devika Malik.
Well, expect that email from your HR heads very soon coming into your inbox. Joining us tonight, Mr. Swapan Seth, the CEO of Equus Red Cell. He's joining us here from the capital, as also Prof.S.R.Khanna, the Managing Trustee of Consumer Voice. Thanks very much, gentlemen. Mr. Seth, to you first. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with where this is coming from, this initiative. Do you believe any of what they're doing constitutes government overreach, or do you think it's simply impractical?
No, I think it's perfectly in place. I think the ban basically tells smokers like me that there is a place where they can smoke, and that, you know, second-hand smoking, which we all know is considerably harmful. I think it's important that smokers toe the line, and I think it's a welcome move, even for smokers, because I think it'll cut down consumption hugely. And I think, you know, basically cigarette smokers have been largely quite inconsiderate towards non-smokers. I mean, we puff away wherever we want, we think it's fine, but I think this kind of imposes a kind of a moral ban and imposition upon us, which I think is quite welcome, if you ask me.
Okay, all right, Professor Khanna, very quickly, in a country where it's so difficult to enforce traffic rules, for instance, you have many people jumping those red lights, never mind the fact that the danger is more immediate. Do you think it would be practically possible to implement this on the ground?
It may not be possible for every meter of all over India, but definitely wherever the officers of government or those who have been empowered under the new law, which is very progressive, wherever they get organized and they have the will to implement it, it will be implemented. It is already, I come from the University of Delhi, while I am a volunteer for Consumer Voice, which filed its case against ITC Made for Each Other campaign 24 years ago. Those days, the argument that smoking can harm and the person sitting next door was not even accepted. We have come a long way. The law is being passed by Parliament. You cannot advertise, you cannot smoke in public places. We welcome it. And we believe that the implementation is going to be in the hands of a large number of people in every city, in every district, in every state. And we believe that the Union Health Ministry, headed by Mr. Ramadoss, has done a great job. He has a group of committed officers who are going to crack down from tomorrow, and they are going to motivate, I would say, hundreds of thousands of people all over India to implement this law. It's not going to be implemented from tomorrow afternoon. Theoretically it is. By the time the government officials and the procedures, etc., get the act together. And one of the good things is that the money collected from the fines can be used by the states in tobacco eradication efforts. So here is a case, in Thailand, they have a cess on tobacco, and that money goes for eradicating tobacco.
But Professor Khanna, I see both you and Mr. Seth, in fact, are on the same page here, so possibly I will have to play devil's advocate for the next 30 minutes. Stay on with us, gentlemen. The man spearheading this campaign, Health Minister Anbumani Ramadoss, has been a story unto himself. Well, his initiative undoubtedly has good public support, as you saw there. Mr. Ramadoss, in his quest to get smokers kicked the butt, has rubbed quite a few people the wrong way.
January 2006. Anbumani Ramadoss made a New Year resolution to make the entire country kick the butt, both in real and real life.
We had statistics showing that 52% of children who have the first puff of cigarette is due to the movie celebrities.
Bollywood king Shah Rukh Khan was the first in the line of fire. Ramadoss said Shah Rukh should not have lit up while watching a cricket match.
Do you think Shah Rukh Khan should have smoked at a cricket match?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What was the necessity?
And that he should avoid smoking in his films.
I'd be happy to say, please don't smoke in any of your movies, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan.
The Big B and Southern superstar Vijay were also given similar advice by Ramadoss. While Vijay decided to stub it out for his future films, Shah Rukh asked Ramadoss not to choke creativity.
I think there is a huge amount of creative freedom that should be allowed in cinema and arts, and one should not go around and pick up small little things, because that's just cinema, it's make-believe, and that should be allowed. We should not have huge censorship on that.
Ramadoss then targeted fellow politicians. First in line was West Bengal Chief Minister Buddhadev Bhattacharya.
I am aware, very much aware, that 71% of the men in West Bengal use tobacco products, including the Chief Minister.
He then decided to come after you.
Any workplaces where there are employees, if you want to smoke, go to the roads. Or smoke in your house, you have to wipe allows that.
Gandhigiri or Dadagiri. On 2nd October, Ramadoss rules will kick in. Will it lead to a smoke-free environment or remain a smokescreen for publicity? Keep watching this space.
Mr. Seth, just a quick question to you, sir, if you can hear me there. In the movie, Thank You for Smoking, the protagonist in the movie says he's going to get actors to get smoking in their films, as was done in the 20s and the 30s, and to quote him, he says, to put the sex back in the cigarette. Given that, do you believe what Mr. Ramadas is saying, no smoking on screen, is a valid argument as well?
No, I think Mr. Ramadas is intellectually quite innocent in his remarks when he suggests that, film stars shouldn't be smoking in films and stuff like that. You can't reach the nose by the ears, which is what Ramadas seems to be, aspiring to do. The fact of the matter is that rather than impose these restrictions on Shah Rukh Khans and the Amitabh Bachchans of the world, I think these restrictions are best imposed on normal people like us who smoke. And as far as, whether this law will be implemented, I hate the kind of cynicism that kind of creeps into our minds each time we try and do something good as far as this country is concerned. Right. I think whether this law will be implemented in its entirety or in its finality is a matter of complete conjecture. Right. But I think I, as a smoker, will find it increasingly embarrassing to even step into a restaurant and aspire to smoke. Right. I think what it's going to do is it's going to put a kind of a moral pressure on smokers such as me. And I think that's half the battle done. Because if I'm embarrassed about what I do, and I should be embarrassed about what I do, right, that's half the battle done.
Right, Mr. Ramadas certainly Right, Mr. Ramadas certainly seems to agree that it is half the battle won. In fact, we spoke to him just a short while ago. He says he's confident this ban is going to be successful.
Other countries have been very successful on this. And I'm very confident that India, it can succeed a great deal here. Why? Because I've been getting a lot of public support in this.
Well, is he indeed getting a lot of public support? As we slip into a quick break here on no smoking, here's what some of you think about that ban.
There's no use of putting such rules because people hardly follow it, and I think they just believe in breaking the rules.
All the people who don't smoke get into the passive smoking, and it's quite injurious to health. So we appreciate the decision taken by the government to ban smoking here.
Though being a non-smoker, I was a passive smoker. So I do really advocate this. This is the justified decision of the government. And we will definitely see, we'll ensure that this decision is being enforced in our country.
Those who smoke, please, please, please stop smoking.
Well, no smoking it is from the 2nd of October. Now, hotels and restaurant owners are a worried lot. They will have to ensure a separate enclosure with the specifications given in the ministry guidelines if they want to allow their clients to smoke. Now, business, some admit, could take a hit.
It's going to be tough to take a puff in any public place starting Thursday, and restaurants, bars and theatres are taking the hit. Restaurants usually have smoking and non-smoking zones demarcated, but now rules are going to be meaner.
The choice is taken away from customers, and then controlling those people and telling them you cannot smoke here. I think, and coming into conflict and telling the person to put the cigarette out, I think those will be little harsh elements.
According to the government regulation in hotels and restaurants, smoking may be permitted, but only in special rooms. These rooms must be fully walled on all sides. The room must have an air system with an exhaust leading directly outside, and no food or beverages or any other service be provided in the smoking area. These rules extend to malls and multiplexes too. In fact, some theatres like Ad Labs already have enclosed smoking areas.
They actually go to exit areas to smoke or tend to sneak into toilets to smoke. So at least they have something to do in a environment which is suited to for this kind of consumption.
And while Bollywood staunchly opposes the ban on smoking on screen, off it seems ready to stop the habit.
As long as art is not curbed, which is our constitutional right, it's fine. But as far as smoking is concerned, being banned in public places, we support that.
And it's not just enclosed places like restaurant, bars and theatres that will be off limit, but open air places like this bus stop behind me and railway stations too. And while that may make many a non-smoker happy, the question really is, how strictly will it be implemented? Well, here's hoping the no smoking plan doesn't go all up in smoke. In Mumbai, Yogita Lamai.
Prof.S.R.Khanna, practical question here. One of our viewers have written in to say, I cannot understand how they will not let me have a drink and smoke at the same time. It is, after all, a liberty of choice. Why not just have separate enclosures for smokers and non-smokers?
Listen, when law is made, authorized by Parliament, challenged by all the tobacco companies and hoteliers, saying precisely what you have just said, and the Supreme Court says no way, then my friend who wants to smoke while sitting in a restaurant, he has to actually change the place where he's going to eat. He'd better eat in his own dining room. He can smoke, he can drink, and he can dance. No problems.
Mr. Seth, you tend to agree with that?
I'm sorry?
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, look at London. I mean, everyone is out on the streets, they're out of the bars, they have their drinks in their hands. I don't know how this country is going to handle that. But I think it's not a question of choice. I mean, that gentleman raised the topic with the fact that, you know, you want to drink and smoke, and that was a matter of choice. I think the balance is kind of shifted. I think now it's about the choice that the non-smoker has, rather than the choice that the smoker always had. And I think we need to be considerate on that count.
All right, Mr. Seth, stay on with us, Professor Khanna, as well. We'll be taking a quick break here. When we come back, we'll be taking closing comments, also listening to what some of you in other cities had to say.
I think they should put a kind of cap on the vendors, the number of vendors and the locations also. And similarly, preventing smoking tobacco in public places also helps them kick the habit, albeit slowly.
I don't find a reason for anybody to avoid this thing. You should actually ban public smoking in public places.
Because they earn so much from the taxes, so they are promoting the sale of tobacco or tobacco-based products. So first they should themselves decide that whether they actually want to impose the ban or not.
Please don't smoke in public places, and even don't smoke at all.
So no smoking it is, but maybe like charity, even the implementation should start at home, in fact, with the legislators. Mr. Seth, Professor Khanna, a couple of comments on the blog here. One of them have written in to say that how many legislators signed on to this law with one hand and lit up a smoke with the other. Now, we've seen Central Hall in Parliament with the many chain-smoking legislators that are there. So one would expect a couple of challans to be handed out there as well.
Certainly, it is for the Speaker of the House to enforce the law of the land inside the Parliament House. And be sure there will be some of us who will be putting RTI queries to the Speaker, giving photographs and names of people caught with evidence of smoking, and we will expect the Speaker to recover the fine. So don't think that people can get away. If there are enough vigilant citizens, and they will make sure the law is going to be enforced. So if anybody is smoking, let him not smoke if there are other people around, because it can be damaging to other people's health, it can cause allergies, and of course it is damaging to the person himself who's smoking. And he's addicted. He's a weak person. That's why he's addicted to tobacco. Indeed. Otherwise he wouldn't be addicted.
Indeed. Mr. Seth, no choices here. Whoever you are, you're going to be challaned if you're caught smoking. That's going to be the message, right?
Absolutely, but the fact of the matter is that parliamentarians have in any case never been role models for decent behavior. So, you know, I don't think even if they light up, are we going to be acutely worried about that, you know? So it doesn't really matter. I think the onus is going to be on the individual, and I think we all, and you know, like I told you, I am a smoker, we all need to make a cohesive effort towards getting this going, because I think it is in the better interest of us all, and especially our children, and of course non-smokers, who've been subjected to this nonsense for far too long.
Indeed, and I suspect there will be no disagreement on that front. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the show tonight. For those of you who've been thinking of kicking the butt for good but never really got around to it, Mr. Ramadas is giving you just that inducement you need. Think about it. Good night.